Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Overland 870 podcast. I'm your host, Brad, and tonight with me is
Gina,
my lovely wife, and we have welcomed Chris Halloway, founder of the Moore Expo, tonight to talk to us about some stuff he's got going on. Chris, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me. I was thrilled when you invited me to jump on. It looks like you guys have a ton of great friends, and it's a great community. I love it when you get to meet somebody that's just got that kind of good energy around them, and what you guys are doing is a lot of fun. So it's my pleasure to jump in. Absolutely.
Well, we appreciate it immensely, man. It's great to have you here. Everybody is a great fan of the expo. Everybody loves that place. Everybody's going hanging out. But I'm gonna hit you with the question that I ask every time that we get somebody on here. How did you get into this, and what spurred you to do all this crazy stuff that you're doing now, man?
Well, I was groomed all my life to be a show promoter. Started at a very young age at show promoter school, and now, so I actually, it's funny. I'm a technician, a diesel technician by trade. I've always been interested in mechanics. My degree is in advanced diesel technology for what it's worth. Went to a 2-year tech school down in Nashville and did all that stuff. But as a young kid in high school, and even a little before high school, we had a friend of the family that was an event promoter. He did RV shows and still does RV shows and boat shows, and had now it's going on 35 years that he's been doing that. So I would go work his events for him. It's funny because I still do, but going and working his events. Started out dumping trash. One year, I walked around and handed out stickers just as a young kid growing up, and then eventually, I was working the ticket gate, and then started working moving and helping with that kind of stuff. But never thought anything of it. It was just a fun way to go make a couple $100 as a kid in a weekend in cash. So life went on. I went on to be a technician, and then ended up in heavy equipment, and ended up running a forklift dealership here in Kansas City. Clark, Doosan, Selleck, and Lindy were the brands. And I spent some time in sales and parts and all that stuff, but eventually I was operations manager there. So the like the hats.
They've already spotted it.
So then, I got back into Jeeps and hitting the off-road parks and enjoying it. And every time I go, I'd invite more people and more people and more people. And eventually these events that we were doing, they were making money, which we didn't know what to do with. So we found a veterans charity, not-for-profit, that we could donate it to, and it became a fundraiser. That's when the Jeep events really started taking off. We were selling out off-road parks, and we had live bands coming up from Nashville. I think the last one that we did, we had $30,000 in raffle prizes for this event. And it just happened like, this is just a fun get together. But it just turned into something huge. Everything kind of started much like your Overland 870 setup. It's really it was Steel Driver Off Road, and it just went from a Facebook page to an Instagram page to having a small get together to having a huge barn burner party with all kinds of cool stuff going on. And then the friend of the family, his name's Mike, that does the RV and boat show, he caught wind of what I was doing. And I remember the day that he showed up at one of my events. I was standing by the stage talking to the band, getting them ready to come on. And I looked up, and there was a big old Cadillac coming down this hill for an off-road park that should not have been on that road. He had no idea what he was getting into, just coming in the entrance to this place. And I was just laughing. I saw him. He said, hey, go ahead and do your thing. I know you're busy, but I'm going to go poke around and just see what you're up to. And he did. Towards the end of the event, the band was just wrapping up, and I finally ran into him again, and he pulled me aside and said, there's probably a pretty good community of followers in the Midwest. If you can get this many people together just here, and just in specifically Jeep, I'm sure that, it's much larger than that. And I just kind of, yeah. You just kind of nod and smile. And then he called me a week later and he said, all right, let's do this. No way, dude. I'm not doing it. I'm working 60, 70 hours a week at the dealership. And then he called me the next week, dude, you got to do it. I'm like, no way. And then finally, after about a month of him calling me, I finally said, all right, how do I do it? He said, you got to come down to the house. We'll sit. We'll have a cup of coffee. I'll tell you the 10 commandments. And he did. And he told me who I need to talk to, how I need to talk to them, what I need to get put in place in order to get it going, and how to invest my money to make it happen. And that was 14 months before the first expo.
Yeah.
The first expo was February 2020. If anybody was there, throw it up in the comments. I love seeing. Were you there?
Yeah.
Awesome. Remember there was an archery tournament going on across in the East Hall. But it went really well. It ran smooth. People showed up. People bought things. The vendors were happy. There were a couple vendors from larger names that were there. There were some of the team from OK 4-Wheel Drive.
I can't remember who all was there. I mean, that's been a minute though.
It's been a long time, but it was a lot of local businesses. Arnie Pinto with Go Treads.
Yeah, Arnie with Go Treads. Yeah.
Go Treads. Yeah, that's the set of Go Treads.
He was the very first person to sign up, and I remember what he said. He said, Chris, I never sign up for first year events because I know how that goes, but I believe you and I'm going to give you a shot. And after that, I was like, all right, here we go. So, it was Go Treads and I think Action Tracks were the first ones, and then Artemis Overland to follow. And it was Chad Boyd with Overland Addict before Overland Addict was really a store. Just an amazing group of people. So, first show went so well. Everybody was like, yeah, we got to do this again. I'm like, all right. So still had a full-time job. Kicked off the 2021 event through COVID and all the scares, and everybody was worried that we were going to cancel and everything like that. We don't cancel. It would take a 40-foot deep flood for me to cancel that event. And 21 went great. It was an ice storm, much like we're in right now.
Yeah, I know. Snowpocalypse. That's why we're down here in front of the fireplace tonight.
It was
our pit.
Your brain's already out.
I'm camping already.
Brain's already out the wood.
And then the community's just been so far, backing us up and having a good time every year that people keep coming back and new people keep coming in. We're able to grow. Moore Expo's grown over 600%.
It's huge. It's huge. You added the power sports stuff over there.
Yeah, we actually power sports.
Last year was the first year for that, wasn't it?
And the plan was for power sports to let it be a part of Moore Expo for around 3 years until it got big enough we could spin it into its own event. It's its own event. It happened immediately. So we're actually moving the Power Sports Expo completely, and that is going to be in Muskogee, Oklahoma, at the same place they have Okie Jeep Jam.
Yeah.
At the Hatbox Event Center. So we're going to be down there. I think it's the week before Okie Jeep Jam. No, it's the week after Okie Jeep Jam. We'll be down there with Power Sports Expo. And that's turned into an animal in its own already. We've got a $10,000 bounty course. So it's for side-by-sides.
Yeah.
38-inch or smaller tires. But yeah, fastest lap around that obstacle course they've got. You're going home with 10 G's. There's a ride and drive setup going on, huge swap meet, live music. Like that's gonna be a big party. So
Yeah. Well, Moore is a big party. To me, it's a big party anyway. Because I get to see everybody. We get to go hang out. Last year we went. Last year I told you about. Last year we started a whole stir with the whole zipper lube thing.
Zipper lube.
oh yeah, I meant to look that up. That's funny.
Yeah, we started the whole zipper lube thing. It was good. We had fun with it. Some people got upset. Some people didn't. But it was a good time. We had a lot of fun with that. And we met some people last year that we were there that I didn't know because we were tiny. We're still tiny, but
we're still tiny.
But we met some people last year and they've become really, really good friends of ours. And it's just like anything else that we go out and do. Community builds friendship and all this stuff. And going to the expo is just like hanging out with your friends. It's cool. We enjoy it.
That he never meets a stranger either. So that helps a lot too.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That is definitely part of the DNA. It seems like in our community.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. We enjoyed it. We got to meet the Deuces Wild guy from Las Vegas who was doing the bathroom portable, the little portable toilet.
Oh yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
I don't remember the name, but once you told me the
that was the
portable
most
toilet,
creative name. That's the most creative name ever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Craig said he had a most awesome camping spot under the loudspeaker last year.
Okay, so I'll get a question back for you then. Let's see, what was it? It was like 11 o'clock at night. My brother had a couple too many beers and got on the loudspeaker, and I think he was rapping or doing something. And he thought it was just in the building, and the building was completely empty. So he was being, it was pretty funny. But I running, give me that.
we have heard
everybody in the campground just heard that.
we've heard Craig talk about this. We've heard Craig talk about this numerous times.
Every
time he's like, and I was trying to sleep, and all it was just somebody was yelling. And then of course I got Brandon Battleheart up here. He just from Vengeance Overland.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said he spoke to you. Brandon's a real good friend of mine. He's a great dude out in Texas. But it looks like this is going to be his first expo to attend right here. So I guess he had a question like, what can he expect? So,
what can you expect for your first time attending? Okay, so let's see. If you're coming in from Texas, a couple pointers on just getting the most out of it and enjoying yourself, making the best of your time.
Yeah.
A great way to come in will be, if you're coming in from Texas, to hit the Midwest Discovery route from Tulsa.
Yes, we need to talk about that here in a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But hit that. It's just hit some dirt on the way in. Like, come on, let's have some fun. Falling asleep on the highway coming in is overrated. So, so that's a good way to come in. I would recommend to anybody, if you want like one of the killer camp spots in there, grab VIP tickets. It gets you in a day early for not much more money. And then there's also some other added perks to it, live concert Friday night and some swag discounts and stuff like that. But do that. And then with the VIP pass, you can also get access to the some kind of above and beyond training. Moore Expo, one of the pillars of our success is education. It was important to me when I was cutting my teeth. So I've got a special connection to it, and I felt really intimidated. And when I was first hitting off-road parks, it wasn't just like send it. I was in my daily driver, and I didn't know anything, and people taught me. And I went to events. And I
did it anyway.
Yeah, still kind of did.
Get new fenders that way.
So So HIT classes, the Switchback Outdoor Safety hands-on training is amazing. We actually last year we bought 40,000 pounds of shredded tire mulch so we can replicate a vehicle getting stuck every time without getting covered in mud.
Wow.
That's a great idea.
That's cool. We stopped by the training stuff last year. We stopped through
The
there.
list was so long. We was
Yeah.
but I didn't
see that though. That'd been cool to see.
Yep, that's out back. So you'd walk through through Switchback's booth and then the classrooms, and it's out back in the grandstands.
We didn't make it
doing that. But yeah, we have a huge pit that we build. We pull any vehicle up into it, and all you have to do is bump the gas, and it immediately gets stuck to the frame every time. 4-wheel drive, 6-wheel drive, doesn't matter. Always lays it on the frame, and then we can replicate a truly stuck vehicle.
We're doing that.
We're doing that this year.
We're doing that. We're doing that. I don't get
that. And then
you don't drive.
Bounce back and forth, but it's funny when you go to an event with 225, 230 plus vendors. You make one loop around, I guarantee you missed half of them. So you got to make a couple loops to really just kind of get into booths and visit with people. But the amazing thing is we always have vendors from all over the world. So
every place. There's people. There was a guy. There was an Australian guy there last year.
We had 10 countries represented.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
South Africa, I can't name them all, but South Africa, Australia, Norway, Germany, South America, down in Chile, several out of Canada, a couple, 1 or 2 from China. This year there were a couple from China. It's like EcoFlow and the battery management systems. They're coming.
We frequented that one a lot, several times.
Yeah. Korea, South, but several out of the U.S. vendors, which is really cool. I never thought it was going to be, an international show, but they know about us in Germany, which is wild.
You're international,
I guess
worldwide.
Yeah, small town management, small town vibes, but we are global, so that's pretty cool.
That is completely awesome.
Yeah, so camp, classes, spend time with vendors, hang out in the Overland Addict recovery room, listen to some live music, listen to some of the presentations. That's always a good time.
A lot to do. I mean, you can expect a lot of fun.
We only have 18 hours.
Yeah.
If you think about it that way, the show is only 18 hours long.
Yeah.
If you're camping, you get more time.
Yeah.
So
we just missed a question that jumped through there. Bobby Thurman was asking if the Juice is going to play this year again.
Oh man, I love the Juice. They killed it. So every year, what we do, Big Iron Overland Rally is in late September. I take the crowd favorite from Big Iron, and that is the one that I bring into Moore Expo. And this year, it is the Hips.
Okay.
Just as electric as the Juice. Their stuff is fantastic. So if anybody was at Big Iron, you'll remember these guys. They were the headliner Saturday night. Headliner Saturday night, and they slammed. So it'll be a good one for sure.
Yeah, Bobby he's friends. Like he used to play in the band.
He played in a band.
He played with those guys. The Juice.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
Bobby's our resident musician that he's famous. He's got some.
We name drop him all the time.
Yeah, we try to drop Bobby's name. He's got some Spotify records if you want to get out there and listen to some of his music. Yeah. He's gonna hate me for saying that.
Shout out. What are they?
Come on, Bobby. Type it in the comments, Bob, so I can throw it up here. Come on, throw the band stuff up there.
The whole world.
I would throw his picture up where he got, because Bobby he does the Jasper Jeep Jam stuff, or not Jasper Jingle Christmas Parade.
The Christmas Parade. Yeah.
Yeah, Bobby does that. He's like a MC for that. And so I got a picture of him with his long hair, twirling the drumsticks and everything. Yeah. So here we go. We're gonna say Stonehill was Bobby's.
Stonehill. All right.
Yeah. Check them out. It's good music. I'll listen to it. he's so I'm sure he's going to text me now because he's probably mad. But
It's not. He's
no,
getting props.
Bobby is a great guy. Bobby is a wonderful guy.
That's rad. Nice.
Yeah, he camps with us a lot. He is a very, very, very good friend. Which, of course, everybody that's on here watching the show it's all my family. Is what I call them. You know.
Yeah. I'm fascinated by the group that you guys have come together as so quickly, and just looking at the socials and the interactions and stuff like that. It's just a good group of friends, really big group.
Yeah, and so I've got another question coming in from the comments here. So this is Dan from the Crayon Brotherhood. Dan is wanting to know what the criteria to be a storyteller at the event is.
Awesome. Okay, so storytellers. Last year we had 50 storytellers, and this was a total social experiment, just to kind of see what that would be like. We went from, I think, 14 up to 50, and that was a lot of fun. But this year we decided that we want to be able to offer much more in return back to the storytellers this year. So we're bringing it back down to 10. And what I decided, in order to keep it the most fair, and we're not playing favorites, so it's not a buddy thing that gets you in as a storyteller. What gets you in as a storyteller is you register online on the Moore Expo website, and you become a spokesperson for NCMEC, which is the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. NCMEC, you'd be most familiar with them if you've ever heard of Amber Alerts. So they run all Amber Alert. They're out of DC. It is a fantastic organization. The majority of the money that they raise goes right back into supporting finding missing children, and they deal with anything from runaways to kidnapped kids to sex trafficking, anything like that. So it's very important to us as an initiative. And exactly, we got to protect the kids. And what's cool about it, so the reason that we partner with NCMEC is they need people that are on the road, that are traveling, that are out exploring, that are in small towns where somebody could be harboring or hiding out, with trafficked children, and they need our eyes on it. So us as travelers are the perfect catalyst for getting the word out for them. So back to the question, the criteria to become a storyteller. We don't care how big your Instagram following is. We don't care how famous you are. You could be, you could be Tyler Childers, and you still got to participate to get in. The way that you participate is you get a fundraising page, and you get to work by putting the word out there and raising awareness and funds for NCMEC. So all storyteller applicants get they get a discount code for ticket sales, and they get paid a commission on all the tickets that they sell. Whether they become selected as a storyteller or not, they're still putting work in. So we don't want to diss anybody, of course. So you still get paid out on all that. The thing that breaks it and decides whether or not you get one of the 10 spots on Storyteller Row is if you were in the top 10 for fundraising for National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Looks like the cutoff date. What is the cutoff date? I believe the cutoff date is April 1. And that is when we will announce the top 10. Top 10 will get there will be a leaderboard on the Moore Expo website. So you'll get that recognition, which is good for the storytellers. Hey, we know, I know, like, sponsorship is important. Where all of our vendors are going to look to see who they want to sponsor, they're going to storytellers. And the way sponsorship is becoming, it's not so much about how big is your following. It's about how passionate are you and how much organic work are you putting into to a non-for-profit cause, because that shows when they give you, a set of tires to try out or a rooftop tent to test or whatever it may be. So there are a lot of benefits and perks to becoming a storyteller. And the biggest benefit is just, it's amazing. I think we raised $15,000 for NCMEC last year.
That is the best idea that I have ever seen at an expo, because we saw it last year, and of course we've got the sticker on our rig, on both our rigs. So you got with the QR code where people can scan it and all that stuff. That is absolutely brilliant for that, because like you said, most generally we're out, all of us that are doing this are out in remote areas, off the beaten path. And if somebody's doing something like that, it's more than likely they're going to be in a small area away from everybody else. And they can just scan that code, and then they can see what's going on, and they can tell who's missing in what area, and they can be it's a great idea.
And I also like it too, like even in parking lots, like Walmart or any of your grocery stores and stuff. And they're like, hey, what's that QR code mean? Because they can see on it, like it states missing exploited children on some of the stickers and stuff. So it's a good segue to just say, hey, here's this, and this is what you can do with it. Yeah,
my sticker is actually on my my cook camp set when I fold my stuff out, so you can see it. Like you'll see it, you walk by, do that, and then I've got one on the side of the Jeep, and then
I've got one on the back of mine.
Yeah, it's awesome. That was a great idea, man. That's absolute brilliance.
I love that you guys are repping those. So for those of you listening who aren't familiar with what it is, we worked with NCMEC to create, and they get credit for creating the technology behind this QR code, but it's amazing. So you have a QR code, and anywhere you are in the United States or Canada, whether it's Paducah, Kentucky, or Anchorage, Alaska, if you scan that QR code, it will bring up all the missing children's cases within a 50-mile radius. So I have them on my vehicles, and my vehicles are in shows pretty often. Just a couple weeks ago, we were featured at the Kansas City RV show. There's not actually, I think there were like 12,000 people that came through, and everybody asked, they're checking out the truck, checking out the rig, and they go, what's this QR code? And it's like, well, scan it. So many people scan it, and it's like, now we have that many more eyes on open cases, which is remarkable.
Yeah, and it brings up the pictures too. So like it's an almost instantaneous being able to identify, make sure you are talking about the right child or person at that point on any of it.
Yeah,
he's digging up our extras so he could just flash it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, good. I all mine.
There's several asking too. That's like, hey, how do I get a hold of a sticker? So I'm assuming you'll have them at Moore.
Yes. Yeah. I will bring them. I've got a stack of them. I will bring them to the Shop Overland apparel booth. Shop Overland is, as soon as you come in, it's off to the right. That's where he sells.
On the right or the left?
Well,
he goes to the left. I don't know, but I get turned around and I can get lost in the straight line.
Right and then a left, and that's
okay.
Okay. But it's Shop Overland Apparel. Jared sells all of the Moore Expo merch there, so swing by and just do the secret handshake, and he'll give you one of those. Or take two if you guys. I mean, if I'm paying for them and buying them, so that way people will take them. So. Yeah. Take Steve two on each side of your vehicles.
Yeah, Steve was asking if you could get some to the Jasper Jeep Jam for us to give out. He was asking about that.
Yeah.
I think I have a few extra ones because I pilfered some extra stickers to put on stuff.
He's a sticker whore.
I pick up stuff. Yeah. So I picked up some extra stickers. I've got some. So if you guys around here, if you want some, I'll see what I got, and I'll pass them out.
Yeah, if you've got enough, Brad, if you think you need more, just let me know, and I'll drop 25, 30 of them in an envelope and get them to you.
That'd be awesome, man. That'd be really nice to give out. They would. I mean, because like you said, everybody's passionate about this stuff, and that'd be awesome to be able to get them out before the expo.
Yes. Yeah. It's always so cool when yeah, man, I'll be in Springfield or I saw one in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Hey, that's one of the nicknames. It's so cool to see that.
Yeah, and I'm at every gas station. My Jeep drinks gas, so I'm at every gas station within like 700 miles. Yeah, it's like I'm stopped. You know, it's like, oh yeah, he's getting gas here. But no, that's awesome, man. That's really cool. Yeah, you want to send some out? You've got my address, but I'll send you an email and we'll see if we can get some out and do that. But I want to talk about this discovery route stuff.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So tell me how we moved to the discovery route, because we got 4 different routes that are taking us to the expo. So let's talk about those. Let's talk about those 4 routes that we got.
So for those of you who haven't been in the expo or aren't familiar with what S'more to Moore was, I'll kind of give you some backstory on that. So we partnered with Southern Missouri Off-Road Ranch, which is an amazing park.
S'more is big fan.
It's my favorite park just because I love them. The people that run it, the park itself is fantastic. But we wanted to find a cool way to get people to the off-road park. That's kind of what we do. So we had about a 100-mile route that ran through the Mark Twain National Forest and just beautiful scenic back roads between Springfield, Missouri, and Seymour, where S'more is. So we've done that for 5 years. And the issue that we ran into is I don't like to get complacent, and frankly, we ran out of roads. Midland has been sponsoring it for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
And we look at a lot of things when we decide, was it worth it? And one of the things, one of the big metrics is participation. How many registrations did we have? And over those 3 years, we noticed that there'd be a couple less and a little bit less every year. And that's understandable because it's once you did that, then the next year it's like, that took me away from the expo for 5-6 hours. Going back to what I said, we only have 18 hours at that event. So giving up 5-6 hours of it is a lot. So in working with Midland, we're kicking around ideas like how can we get people to be able to get the most enjoyment out of this and not let it die. We want to 10x it, make it way better. And we want people to enjoy it and also be able to enjoy the expo. And it was one of their team's decisions or ideas that was like, hey, why don't we do it on the way into Moore Expo as opposed to sending people away from the show? And it's like, that makes really good sense. So then the question came, from where do we start? And it was like, I live in, outside of Kansas City, but it's like, all right, it'd be easiest on me if we started it right here. But then it's like, what happens to the people that are coming up from Arkansas? Sure, it'd be easier on them. So then I was like, all right, well, what if we did a north and a south? And I'm like, you know what? Let's just do 4. So
that's a good idea, man.
I mean, it's coming in from all directions. You're not discriminating against anybody at that point.
We've got 4 locations. Some people are starting, a little bit closer to Springfield than where the starting grid is. They'll backtrack and come in. It's worth it. So far we have run the Kansas City route, the St. Louis route, and I just got back on Sunday night from the Arkansas route. Here in a couple weeks, we're gonna finalize and pre-run the Tulsa route and put a stamp on it, and then it's cool. So if for those of you listening that didn't get a chance to do S'more to More, it's still going to be set up the same. So we don't give you and don't expect it to be super easy. There's a little challenge to it.
There's a lot to do this.
Otherwise, it wouldn't be fun. I mean, it's not pass or fail. It's go have a good time and maybe learn a couple things along the way. But so what you get is you get a book, and it's turn by turn directions. Like we went old school on it. There are GPS coordinates. If you get turned around or get lost, you can plug in the GPS coordinates and you'll be good to go. So nobody's going to get lost anywhere. Most of the places.
Challenge accepted.
I can.
Challenge accepted.
So you get the rally book, and this is cool. So what happens is you register, and actually we put a deadline on registration. The deadline to register is April 5th.
Oh, we got plenty of time to register for this.
It'll be here faster than you know it.
Who's down to do the Arkansas route with us? Who's down to do the Arkansas route with us?
I see a couple over there ready trying to link up in Oklahoma to come in.
Yeah.
Chat's going crazy over there.
The cool thing about it is you can run it solo. We recommend having a co-driver because looking at turn by turn directions, watching your odometer, and making sure you don't hit a cow in the road. It's tricky. It's a thing. So co-driver, some form of radio communications, but you can also run it in a group of 10 if you want. And the thing is, not everybody even has to sign up. If you want the badge that says you did it, and you want the T-shirt, and you want the really cool looking Midwest Discovery Route box that it all comes in, it's a collector's piece. It's really pretty. If you want all that stuff,
because I want my own.
So register for it, and then we mail out. So starting April 5, I am at Midland Radio. They're headquartered just about 20 minutes from my house. So I will be in their warehouse personally, packing your boxes, making sure that I get you the right size shirt, I get you the correct direction rally book, and I get you the right badge. And then don't call me and say, hey, I went up a size on shirts. But I'm packing all these boxes, and then Midland Radio is going to send them out through their shipping and receiving department. So we will start mailing them on the 5th. Mm-hmm. Expect to get them by the 15th at the latest. For anybody that didn't sign up in time, we'll have a backup where you can download the rally book and get a digital version of it. We'll just email you a digital version of the rally book, which is cool too. I mean, you can still run it. You don't get all the cool fun toys that go with it and the bragging rights and all that, but I am most excited about getting down to the campground, walking around and seeing the different badges, and seeing people come together like, man, your vehicle's filthy. Yeah, yours too. You must have been on the MDR. What state did you come from?
Yeah.
Oh, St. Louis. So we came from Tulsa. Bringing people in all together and seeing them all converge at Moore Expo.
That's one of my favorite things to do is like, okay, so last year where you had the hiker section back there, you know, in the hiker section, we walked through and checked that out and looked at all where everybody was from. And there's people from all over the place. I mean, like literally there's people from all over the place. We slipped into Justin Williams' camp he had over there, and he was making some gumbo or something. I'm pretty sure Jason from Experiencing Arkansas stole a pair of his socks or something. I'm not quite sure what happened, but we were over there hanging out with everybody. But
I left him unattended for 10 minutes.
She was like, my feet hurt. I'm like, I'm on my own, people. The leash is off. I can do whatever I want to do.
Gone.
I came back with all these bags. I'm like, look what I found.
Stickers
and patches and shirts and everything. Like, we have all this stuff. It's like, it was kind of like I guess it was like Halloween when we got back because Jason
He's like
and Bobby and all of us, we all
each of
stayed in
the
the Airbnb that weekend, and we got back over to the house and we're sitting there.
And they're all spread
we're
out.
spreading our stickers out, and we're like,
Just
I
like
got
Halloween.
I'll trade you this for this. I'll trade you your Snickers for your Butterfingers. I'm like,
I love it that we are grown men and we do this.
I'm retarded. I have to be careful because I am a huge child in a medium-sized man's body, and so it's like I just get out and start talking to people, and next thing you know, I'm selling candy for somebody at their booth. I thought
trying to sell somebody's Jeep.
trying to sell people's Jeeps. I'm trying to do. I almost walked away with that. With that 392, that elephant. I almost walked away with that elephant last year from American Motorsports. Yeah, I almost walked away with that. They were selling hard.
Yeah, there's another one that's for sale.
Oh gosh, there we go. That blowing the budget. Yeah. No, I can't. Yeah. The guy was sitting there and he was like, "Come on, you just need to buy this right now."
He goes, "Look at this. Look at this."
And I'm like,
"Look at this." And Brad was just like, "I need this."
I'm like, I really need to buy this. Really.
Oh, my banker.
Yeah, I was like, we're driving home. He's like, just get in it. I'm like, no, if I get in it, I bought it. It's too late. I'm never getting out. I probably couldn't have got in it anyway. I had to stand on a box or something to climb up in it.
You had to have a step ladder to get in it.
He's a good salesman because I just got a message from him a couple days ago that just had a pic. All it said is it was a photo of the Jeep, and it said would be or great show vehicle. By the way, it would be a tax write-off, and it's like
this tax season.
I'm not sure that. I mean. Yeah, tax write-off, but it's not exactly how. It doesn't mean it's free. So
well, you just put a big giant Moore on there, or put a big iron on there, put something on there, and just get it on there.
Yeah, I actually just got the Tundra, so I don't know if anybody out there has seen you. This is cool. I'll reveal it. Nobody's seen it yet, but here, let me see. I'll share my screen. And we're still going to hold off on the formal reveal.
Mm-hmm. Well, here we go. Right, I'm going to add it to the page. You ready?
Yeah.
That is slick. World first, people. World first right here.
It is. Yeah. Nobody has seen this except for my mom yet.
Yeah. World second.
We went full on, did an Avery wrap on it.
That is awesome.
The entire truck was wrapped tan before, so and it was like a 4-year-old wrap, so pulling it off was not easy. And Joyby Sign Company here out of North Kansas City, they absolutely killed it on this.
That is amazing. What lights are you running on top of the cab there?
Diode all day.
Dynamics, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, I love them. Diode's taking great care of me. If there's ever been anything I need or Moore Expo needs,
the chat is blowing up. I don't know if you can see it, but everybody is like, that is so awesome.
Cool. I'm good to get some feedback on it.
That is that's sick, dude. That is so nice.
We'll see how clean it stays. I'm a little bit nervous of that matte black wrap because
that looks good, man. That's how
you prove that you've been out on the trails, right?
Yeah.
If you have a cleaning vehicle, you do not off-road.
No, you're right. So yeah, I'll be getting it out and showing it.
That is awesome. I hope nobody was away from their computer when that was going on. Looks like Gina's going to stoke the fire again. She's a firebug. She can't stop playing with that.
Man, I burn wood at my house too, just as supplemental heat. And I'm starting to get some backdrafting through the fireplace. So I decided now's a good time to get it cleaned. I called it in like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But you can't burn wood for 48 hours before they clean it. This is the worst 48 hours to not be burning wood.
Well, like I said, I normally do the show upstairs, and I got home today and I was like, you know what? Gina's like, let's put a fire in the fireplace. I said, well, let's just do the show downstairs tonight. We'll do it in front of the fireplace. and it's really cold here. I don't know how cold it is where everybody else is, but it's ridiculously cold here in Jonesboro.
Our little digital over there says it's down to 18.
Yeah, without the windshield. So
Yeah, that's just the little box on the outside of the house.
yeah,
We're sitting at 2 right now.
2. Oh, you win.
Cold.
You flexed on us right there. He's like, watch this. 2.
This morning, it never came up. This morning it was 1, and when I walked out of the house, the wind chill was minus 26.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrible time. My wife is in the house. Usually we get the fire on. She is in there wrapped in every single blanket that we own. We have the heat on. I mean, it's
That's it. Gina's going to, for the last 15 minutes of the show, Gina's going to mess with the fireplace, everybody. So we're just going to watch her. Everybody just focus on her working on the fireplace. It's like she just can't leave it alone while we're doing this. Just going to keep playing with it.
It's kind of nice to have a big fire going on.
Yeah, just giving her a heart.
You got the look.
Yeah, I know it's standard.
Yeah.
It comes standard.
So you guys have a discount code for tickets?
Yeah, you got us hooked up with a discount code. I'm gonna pop that up here on stage real fast. So look, this is awesome, and I appreciate that very much for you. So use that code Overland 870. Use that code, please.
Save
Please
a couple bucks. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I appreciate that very much, man. It's like that is I'm very. Oh, hang on a second, Brad. Hang on a second. Brandon wants me to post something up here for you on here. He wrote a book for you. I don't know if it'll log it on the stuff. So he said, because it's not all showing up in the comments because it's really long. Hang on.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't want to take any credit, but we thought we'd pitch in where we could as well.
Yeah.
Brandon sent me an email and said, "Hey, I'm just trying to figure out exactly what I need to order for tickets."
Yeah.
And he mentioned that he was sponsoring a veteran and his family to come in, which is, I mean that's the kind of shit that I think is super cool.
Yeah. Brandon has a huge heart. I will tell you this though, whatever you do, if you do bump into Brandon, don't let him sleep in your rooftop tent.
Okay.
Don't let him sleep in your rooftop tent, and no jug of milk is safe around this man because he will drink every drop of milk in the entire camp if he gets a chance.
Okay.
Yeah, do not. He came to our first event that I did, Whiskey and Waypoints. He came to Whiskey and Waypoints, and Brandon and I had just talked back and forth on Facebook and Instagram and everything. And he made the trip from Texas. He came out with a bunch of people, and he came out there and he's like, I don't have a tent or anything to sleep in yet. I don't have my tent set up. I'm like, come on, foster son, you can sleep in my.
Because we have a camper. We have a behind camper.
Yeah, we had our camper and we had both rigs there.
Yeah, we went ahead and took both rigs.
And I'm like, we'll sleep in the camper. I said, you can sleep in my rooftop tent. And he's like, are you sure? I'm like, it's perfectly fine, Brandon. Go ahead and sleep in it. So he gets in there, and it rains. It's really raining. He gets up the next morning, and he's like, man, your tent is so nice, and the mattress is so cool. And they got these little compartments inside the tent where you can put your muddy shoes. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, on either side of the window, there's 2. I'm like, those are storage pockets, Brandon. That's not where you put your shoes. And he's like, oh.
My bad.
So the inside of my tent is covered in mud. And he's an admin in the Overland group, in the 870 group. And he's always talking about drinking milk. And we camp. This is funny. I got to rat him out. So we show up. Brandon shows up, and he pulls up, doesn't know any of us. Knows none of the people, shows up. He just jumps out, just as friendly as can be, jumping around, talking to everybody, having fun. And we turn around and we're getting ready to cook dinner, and we're having a big potluck. Brandon has a cup of cereal and a half a gallon of milk. And we're like, what are you doing? He's like, well, this is what I'm eating for dinner. I'm like, we've got steak and pasta and chili and dumplings. And he's like, well, I stole this from my kid. He said, I stole this from my kid at the house. And he goes, all my stuff is my kid's food. I'm like, what? You brought like Lunchables and everything? I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Put that back. You can eat whatever we got.
But he drank the whole thing.
Yeah,
he wouldn't let it go back into his fridge. He drank
the entire thing of milk that night. And we're all sitting around having drinks, and we're talking and laughing and cutting up. And he's just pounding this milk and just pounding it. And I'm like, what are you doing? So,
all right. White Russians it is.
Yeah, well, it was just Brandon's milk jug is all it was all night.
And then we spent the next driving around looking for a Dollar,
Dollar
General or
so you
anything so he could get more.
So you get more milk.
Yeah,
He's got strong bones.
Yeah.
I can only assume, yeah, the man has strong bones. Yeah. That's funny. It's wild how, man, I'm always tickled to death when I hear stories about people meeting and becoming friends and, you know, other events that are going on and going on. I do the same thing. I hit every event that I can. I just love it. At Rendezvous this year, I made some new friends and ended up staying up way too late.
Well, you didn't get involved in that fiasco at Rendezvous, did you?
Not with the Canadians. No.
I was there for that. Guilty as charged.
I stayed up too late over in the back campground with a couple real good friends and some new good friends. But by the time the Canadians were there and were partying, my wife had got to Rendezvous, and then when she gets down, I go curfew. So yeah.
No, I don't. It's not true. Whatever. Gina goes to bed and it's like, whoop, game on.
Yeah. I will get myself in trouble. As you get to know me a little better, you'll.
Yeah. Well, I've Jessie was talking about. She was asking something about is there going to be another rave at Big Iron this year. That's what she was asking earlier. There's going to be another rave.
Oh, that was the weirdest thing. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I have one guy that is in charge of booking all the bands, and he's a brilliant artist when it comes to music. He's a little eccentric, and I let him get away with just about whatever he wants. But he was really excited because he just started a job doing some DJ work in Springfield, so he's got all this equipment. He's like, man, I'm gonna set up in that one shovel up there on the hill, the drag line, which is always the band green room. He's like, I'm gonna set up like the DJ booth and the lights and all this stuff, and set it up kind of like a rave party. And I was like, dude, you can do whatever you want. I don't know if people will think that's cool, or if people don't think that's fine too. It's contained, so you go crazy, man. Have fun. And I popped in. Love to death. I popped in, was it Saturday night, maybe Friday night? And there were like 6 guys sitting in there, and there was like techno music playing. And I tried to like have an open mind about it and sit down and drink a beer. And I sat there for like 15 seconds, and I was like, all right, you guys have fun. I gotta go.
Jessie has talked about this every time we talk about Big Iron, because we get to talking about all the expos and all the stuff going on. And she's like, yeah, there was a rave at Big Iron. She goes, they were like,
Yeah, so everybody's into something different.
Hey, let them have after it.
Yeah, go for it. 15 years ago, I probably would have been up there with my shirt off, dancing, swinging.
I might still do that. It's possible. You can't ever. I'm out of control sometimes. It's bad. It's bad.
I saw somebody else mentioned, is the musician going to sleep on the stage again?
Yeah.
So that's another funny part about Big Iron. Big Iron's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And these musicians that come in are pretty easygoing.
Uh-huh.
They know they'll just figure something out. Some of them are smart enough to throw a tent in the back of their car. Some of them just don't care. So it was Joe that slept on the stage. I remember because we were walking away, and he's like, I'm just going to sleep right here. And we're like, all right, have a good night. But you just never know. I don't know. It's Big Iron.
Yeah. It's always good to have fun like that. That's what we center around a lot. I mean, I guess I don't know how to describe the group that we have, that we've built, that everybody's, which everybody takes equal parts and everything. Everybody's always like, oh, Brad and Gina have done this. I'm like, it's never Brad and Gina. It's Brad and Gina and everybody else. It's Jesse, it's Craig, it's Dan, it's Brandon, it's Jamie. I mean, it's every single person. Jordan, everybody
brings something to the
everybody
table.
brings something to this group, and we get out there and we kind of feed off each other. Like it gets crazy sometimes. We laugh and we cut up, and it's all harmless fun, but it's just honest enjoyment that we get to have.
Everybody is always so unique, and they always bring something different to the table where it all melds together really well, because the common denominator is that we want to be outdoors. We want to be with other people that are like-minded, and it just ends up being a great party every time.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like the drunken parties, but although there is a lot of drinking going on,
that has happened.
It's still a good fun.
Yes.
Find somebody that's got it in 4-wheel drive that doesn't have a smile on their face. I mean, even in the weather today out here on the road that goes in front of my house, the trucks that are driving by, they got it in 4 high, they're smiling.
Yeah.
Best day ever,
Yeah. I'm not lying. When we finish the show here after a while, Gina and I are probably going to go out and drive around and go out and just see what's going on, because we don't get this. We never get snow. We've been lucky this year. We've got 2 rounds of snow. Unfortunately, I have to work even when it's snowing, so that doesn't. I know. But she gets to stay home tomorrow. She's a school teacher, so we're going to get out tonight and we're going to drive around and see what's going on, see what's happening. Maybe find a Subaru in the ditch or something, or maybe pull them out.
That's always fun to do. Out here in Kansas City, a couple of groups, I'm sure you've seen that, they activate the Snow Squad emergency reliefs, which are really cool. I think they did like 300 rides the last snowstorm.
They do that here too. The NEA Jeep Club does that, and so we were a big part of that club for a long time, and we still are a part of it. But they get out and they shuttle police officers, nurses, doctors.
I still did that today.
Yeah, Gina did that today.
Nice.
They go out and they shuttle everybody back and forth to appointments or whatever if they need something. So the local KIT, the television station, puts a number out. The club has 2 phones. They'll call that and they'll schedule pickups and everything else and try to make sure everybody gets to where they're going.
That's cool. I love it.
Pretty good following that actually uses it and utilizes it, which is really cool too.
Now, every once in a while, can you take me to get a Shadrack's or a Starbucks or something? You're like,
yeah.
No.
Maybe I'm going. So yeah.
Yeah, I got my Canadian guys are over here in the chat too, and we're talking about snow, and they're sending me pictures. My friend BJ. He's sending me pictures, and they got like 4 foot of snow, and he's always rubbing it in. He's like, "Look how much snow we got today. Is it dusting?" I'm like, "Hey, what is that like? What is that in metric, BJ? What is that? How many feet is that?" It's like 3.9 meters. Whatever it is.
I like how Americans will use anything but the metric system to measure.
Yeah.
So it's like 7 bananas high.
Exactly true. Yeah.
That's a Milwaukee drill tall. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And then every car company uses a 10 millimeter, and everybody knows exactly. Well, I want to know exactly. That's a 10 millimeter. Yeah. Oh no, we're not going to use that. We're renaming that.
Yeah, it's a dime.
Yeah, it's so much fun. But I guess we've run the gambit on everything we needed to talk about, man. We've talked about this awesome stuff, the new Midwest Adventure route that we got, our Discovery route that we've got going on. We got that going on.
Talked about Big Iron
a little bit. Big Iron has a place in my heart because my dad used to run a drag line.
Oh, okay.
So Big Brutus, when we talked about going to Big Iron, my mom had told me before all this, the festival and stuff that happened, my dad had went out there and saw Big Brutus when it was there. And it was like, we got to go check this out because, that's actually part of my whole life growing up. That's what my dad did from day one was he ran drag lines, and I got to ride on them as a kid and got to do all that stuff. So that holds a special place in my heart going to Big Iron.
Yeah. So. In the 4 years that we've had the Big Iron Overland Rally, we've raised $54,000.
Wow.
For Big Brutus.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
That's crazy.
It was a huge event. I mean, it's a pretty tight-knit group that's there every time.
It was super cool when I was doing that because I started helping my dad. I graduated in 92 and I traveled all over the United States, built Walmarts, and I would come home and then my dad would need somebody to help work out for the construction company. So I would go out and I would oil on his drag line, or I would go out there and during the summers before I graduated and I would work on stuff like that. And they started tearing these Super 88s down, which they're large drag lines, but they're not nearly as big as Big Brutus is. Nothing as big as that steam engine is. And I got the guy that ran the construction company in Memphis. He was like, "Hey man, you want to go move all these drag lines?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm 19 years old. You don't want me to go do all that?" He goes, "You're one of 3 people in the state of Arkansas that know how to take these things apart and put them back together." And I'm like, "I do not want to do this for the remainder of my life." I'm like, I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, that's a lot of back pain when you're doing that. No doubt. Yeah, big iron is a blast. One thing that I want to mention to any of your crew, ticket sales for camping, the general admission and VIP tickets and stuff won't sell out. For the campground's about 70% full right now. So
wow.
I don't want anybody to miss.
Before you know it.
I know it.
I don't want anybody to miss getting a camp spot that really wants to. So just keep that in mind.
So what he's telling you guys is, if you're going and you're camping, as soon as the show ends, get your tickets immediately.
On that note, though, and I might have missed it, so like on the trails and stuff that you send out the packets and stuff, is there a cost with that?
Yeah.
Like when you register, what is it?
$60.
Okay, I must have missed that. I think I remember you saying that now.
Yeah, $60, and that includes the rally book, which is the most important part of it.
Yeah.
The badge, the T-shirt, and then I believe we're putting a vehicle decal kit in it as well. So you'll be able to rock the colors and show that you did the route. So that'd be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, for more.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, Jesse.
Yes. So 60 for the Midwest Discovery route.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And tickets are on sale. So if you use your discount code, and then tickets are already like I don't know what percentage off they are right now, but it's best to combine the two. After the end of February, they go up to full price.
Yeah.
So just incentivizing. We need the money. No,
I want everybody to. I always tell everybody I'm a big proponent for going and doing stuff that is close to us. As much as I would like to go to Pacific Northwest and go to all that stuff, I have more fun at the Moore Expo, at the Jasper Jeep Jam, at Overland of America, all this stuff that's right around here by us. I have a lot of fun there. I got a lot of friends there. I got a lot of, so I want to be there and hang out with everybody that I know. So that's important to us to do that.
It's nice that, man, I mean, what, 6-7 years ago, there was Rendezvous, which is still one of my favorites. But that was the only thing we had in the Midwest going on.
Yeah. And
the community in the Midwest demanded more. It's crazy that now we have so many great events that take place, and they're well attended, and people have a great time, and we talk about them afterwards. So that's cool.
We almost single-handedly destroyed Rendezvous in the Ozarks in 23. We almost single-handedly destroyed that. It was bad. All right.
Do tell.
All right. I used to have this tent. I had a front runner tent that was my very first rooftop tent.
Love that tent.
And we called it the rain tent, because no matter what you did, if you opened that tent, it was going to rain. It didn't matter if it was 0%, if it was in the desert, whatever, it was going to rain. And we got to Rendezvous. We got there on a Wednesday.
Well, we were driving in, and I was like, "What is the weather supposed to be like?" And he's like, "It's nothing, clear all the weekend." I was like,
funny,
all the cattle are laid down, like all the wives' tails. I'm going through all the wives' tails, and I'm like, the cattle are all bedded down. I was like, I bet it's gonna rain. He's like, no. We get there and open the tent,
and it comes a storm. We get the Braveheart fog across the field. The windstorm comes in, blows over the porta potties,
rain,
tears up all the vendor stuff.
Shame on you. Well, this
It
was
was completely my fault. Everybody blamed me for it. Randy told me it was my fault. Everybody said it was my fault.
this was two maybe 3 years ago. I think I remember.
Yeah. 23, I believe what it was.
Yeah.
I'm not good with dates.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
Mhm.
It was completely my fault.
One of these years, Moore Expo sponsors a big pile of firewood every year for.
Oh yes, we used it. We didn't get to use it last year, but
No.
we used it the year before.
Yeah.
I think. Oh yeah, the year before. The year before there was a scare that there was going to be a burn ban, and then this year there actually was.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We didn't have the rain tent. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. We opened the thing like a week before.
Bobby said 20. Bobby said 22 is when it was. Was that when it was? Bobby was 22.
When Randy's posting like, "Hey, we don't know, there might be a burn ban. Go open that tent, even if you got to leave it open."
Well, we don't have it anymore. We sold it to somebody, and I think it ended up in like Ethiopia. Right now, they're growing trees. There's like rivers over there now. It's crazy. You should just check Google Maps. It's insane.
Saved
It's
Ethiopia.
completely insane. Oh man. Well, Chris, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on the show tonight, man. I really appreciate you coming on here and talking about the expo and Big Iron and the new routes we got going on and everything you got going on right now. It's awesome to have you here, man.
I'm honored to be part of the group. Anybody out there listening, please catch me. Tell me to take a deep breath and relax for a second, and then just say hi. I love it. It's always fun getting out there and seeing everybody. And honestly, I don't need to be working 20-hour days and stressed out the whole time. So if you don't worry about bothering me, it's a nice relief when I get to say hi to somebody. So please do.
I'm the same way, man. Well, I look forward to seeing you at the expo. Maybe we'll bump into each other a little bit sooner than that. It'd be awesome if we did. We could hang out, have a drink or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, thank you for coming on tonight. We are going to call it a night, and I think we're going to go
We're
out.
gonna go play in the snow.
We're going to go outside and play in the snow for a few minutes. Maybe
I already started the Jeep.
maybe we'll post some pictures or something like that. We got to put this fire out in the fireplace though. Oh wait a minute, it did it itself. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in tonight to the Overland 870 podcast, and we will see you next week. But we have a surprise, and I'm going to post that up here in a few minutes. So get ready to see something different next week, guys. All right, Chris, thank you for coming on the show, man.
Thanks again, guys.
All right, man. Everybody have a good night. See you later.